If you've spent any time in a gym, you've probably heard a bro go on and on about needing this much protein at a specific time after your workout, or all that blood, sweat, and tears was for nothing.
This is all a lie.
But today, the team wants to set some things straight about the anabolic window and nutrient timing. And by the end, you might be surprised because there is a connection that could help keep you looking younger a lot longer.
What?
So stick around to the end. I'll bring the team in here and we will get started. As always, make sure you subscribe. If you are not subscribed to this, then you're a chump, and you just need to subscribe because it helps the channel out. And if you like this video, then you might, you'll make Gab happy. She likes the likes. So, and she also gets mean. So you'll help her fiance out. He won't have to deal with her when she doesn't get the likes. So all right. So we've got this thing called the anabolic window, right? It's kind of like the gym bros all across America know about this anabolic window, and they talk about it a lot. So there is some truth to it, right? So Gab, tell us about this anabolic window.
Yeah. So the anabolic window is the period of time after exercise where your muscle protein synthesis is elevated. And that essentially means that it's a time when you are able to build more muscle, and that requires the amino acids from protein, right? And once upon a time, we thought that we had like 30 to 60 minutes to get as much protein in as possible so that we could be in that anabolic window and blah, blah, blah. And as it turns out, that window is a lot bigger than we thought it was. At this point, it's several hours at minimum, but honestly, muscle protein synthesis can be up for 24 to 48 hours post-exercise. So what we know is that it is true. After exercise, your muscles are thirsty for protein, as Joel would like to say. But of course, there is not necessarily a period of time with which that window closes, and now it's too late and the gains are gone.
All right. So if you don't get a bunch of protein within 30 minutes, you're not going to lose all of your gains, Justin. Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's right. The thing is, this one exception is multiple workouts in a day. Because obviously the anabolic window, quotes, right, is just starting the recovery process right away, right? When you get protein and carbs and, those things in right after, right? Most importantly, protein, but a mixture of carbs is also super important, right? And so if you have multiple workouts per day, I would say you want to get that in. You don't want to wait until after that second workout because you're going further into the stimulus adaptation recovery curve. But other than that, no, before your next workout, you need to make sure you're getting close to, a gram of protein per pound of body weight. And you're going to be just fine. And that's how, it is for most of us. I, with my athletes, obviously encourage post-workout protein shakes plus easily digestible carbs to get the recovery process going because they're doing multiple workouts. For those of us doing one workout a day, if you, get your protein shake an hour and a half after, it's honestly no big deal.
All right. Good to know. So then with this thing too, that a lot of people talk about is nutrient timing. So how are these things different? Is this just a different way of saying anabolic window, or are they connected in some way, Gab? Like what's the deal here?
Yeah, so they are not the same thing, but nutrient timing is the concept of there being a specific time during which you need to eat specific things. So for example, the anabolic window post-exercise, it would influence the nutrient timing of your protein and carbohydrate, right? And what we are suggesting is that you don't really need to worry about this too much. And of course, we're going to get into kind of what you do need to worry about in just a second. But ultimately, what I have found in my practice is that nutrient timing can be a situation in which we often have people miss the forest for the trees. And they're so stressed about getting things in at the appropriate time that it causes a lot of stress and some chaos and perhaps missed meals, or the thought that a meal should be skipped if it wasn't done in the appropriate amount of time. So what we really want to focus on today is just this concept of, listen, you don't have to set an alarm on your phone. You don't have to stress. It does not need to be a major driver of your life as long as you are getting enough throughout the day.
All right. So then so throughout the day then, so you guys talk about then like kind of spreading out that protein, and that's kind of like what the blueprints look like too. Like it's taking like, here's your protein, and then here's it's broken up in meals and snacks throughout the day. So why then is spreading out the protein going to be beneficial?
Yeah. So protein, as we go over on a lot of these podcasts and videos, is the most important macronutrient if you're doing 4 to 5 watts per week. And we need to make sure we're getting enough of it. That's the most important. The next is comes down to the timing component, but it's not what people think, right? It's more of getting in a consistent amount daily and what fits your schedule, right? And so for most people, that means multiple meals per day, right? And the not binging of meals over time. And so in order to eat the appropriate amount of food, a lot of the times we want to feel satiated consistently throughout the day. And since protein is the most, or one of the most satiating macronutrients, we consistently spread out protein to be able to, reach those goals, right? So intermittent fasting sounds like a great way to not hit your protein goal and get weak, right? So let's do the opposite of that.
I also think it's important to point out that the anabolic window, sometimes when we think about a window, we think of like open and then it's closed. The window has ended, it's over. And, I think it's important to understand that like anabolism and catabolism are not switches that go on and off. You're not anabolic until you're not. Like these are things that are happening in your body consistently. So we need to make sure that we're feeding those systems consistently with the appropriate amount of nutrients.
So that doesn't include eating humans? Is that what you said? What did you say? You didn't say cannibalism?
We don't have to get into it, Joel. It's fine. Next time.
All right. You just threw out some words there, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute! I'm gonna have to like do some."
I just
Google,
need to prove that I'm smart. Okay, give me this.
All right. So spreading out that protein then makes, Justin, like you talked about, makes you more likely to hit those protein goals, and which then, if you're hitting your protein goals, then Gab, what are you likely building?
Joel, you are building muscle.
There you go. Okay. So we've got, that's why I did these cool little arrows for everybody. So you spread out your protein, cool. Which leads to you're more likely to hit your protein goals, which leads to you're going to have more muscle. And then you've got this cool little thing, this little connection here, Gab, that you were telling me about. So tell me how this leads to you get to look younger. The more muscle you have, the more younger you're going to look for longer. So I'm 41. I need to look younger longer. So why is this important?
Yeah, well, listen, I'm 83, so I mean, it's the answer. The more muscle you have, the younger you're going to look. No, but we do know that muscle is sort of the fountain of youth, so to speak. The more muscle that you have, the more youthful you're going to remain. The better your skin is going to look. The better you're going to be able to function, right? And I think if you go up to anybody in a gym who seems like they've been training for a significant amount of time, they have a lot of muscle mass on their body. The likelihood of them being younger than you think is pretty high. So try that out for yourself. Experiment. Maybe start with some guys first. Don't go up to the women and start asking them how old they are. Just a pro tip. But it is truly a very good way to remain youthful. And so starting with just hitting your protein goal every day is just the way. It's the way to go.
There you go. So yeah. So if you want to maintain those youthful looks like me. And, people are always shocked. They're like, what? You're over 40? I'm like, I know. I get it. But it's because Gab helps me hit my protein goals. So you get all the credit for my youthful looks, Gab. Congratulations. So thank you for that. So, well, that's basically all that we got for you today. But if you want to learn more about how CBG can help you hit your protein goals, make sure that you're spreading it out throughout the day, not fasting and then binging all 250 grams of protein that you need in one sitting, then you need to click the link in the description and learn how CBG can help you figure this protein stuff out, and ultimately it'll help you crush your goals. So with that, for Justin, for Gab, quit tracking those macros. and we'll see you next time. Peace out.